Hey guys, what is going on? Jurgen from Zergrino Sports here, and today I'm going to be doing a quick little WrestleMania 39 review slash thoughts slash whatever. If you used to watch my old reviews of shows, of pay-per-views, and SmackDown and Raws and shit, it's not going to be as in-depth as that, because for those I used to have a notebook and take notes so I would remember specific spots and stuff, because my memory is just garbage. My brain is like a fucking, you put a blender in there and then I don't remember anything. But I do remember to acknowledge the tribal chief. We reach in 1,000 days, baby. The internet's not liking it. Twitter's not liking it. Y'all can hold that fat L. We reach in 1,000 days. Acknowledge the tribal chief. Put them ones up. Put them ones up in the sky. Okay. So I'll go from night 1 to night 2. If I forget matches, oh well. I think night 1 was stronger than night 2. I didn't like some of the booking on night 2, which a lot of you are going to think. I already said put them ones up, so a lot of you are probably going to look at the main event as the main thing of that. I think Roman winning is the right choice, and I'll explain it near the end of the video when we get to it. I had some problems with some of the other matches on the card, which we'll get to as well. But as of right now, we are going to go ahead and talk about the show. So night 1 I thought was pretty good. All the matches delivered in ring, and I think all the right people won except for one match. I'm just going to look up the match card on my phone, which I should have pulled up already. But yeah, just because I know I'm going to forget a match or two here or there. So shout out Snoop Dogg while I'm killing time, though, because, you know, the best people's elbow of all time. Absolutely. So on WrestleMania Night 1, we had Austin Theory defeating John Cena. I did not see this match. I ended up having kind of a bad day, and then I was going to go out with my friend to blow off some steam, and he wasn't feeling well, so we didn't end up going out, which means I missed the first 2 matches. I missed Austin Theory defeating John Cena. I heard the match was kind of shit, and then I heard people didn't like the finish. I haven't gone back to watch it, so I really can't comment. So, but Austin Theory winning, I think, is the right choice. I predicted Cena in my predictions video because I thought open challenge, and then you could debut Jay White, or if they wanted to go for the crowd pop for Sheamus, they could have moved Gunther over or something. Like, I thought, maybe the open challenge and then drop it on Raw would have been an option if they wanted it. So I predicted that, but Austin Theory is the right choice to win, given that big singles win at Mania. Street Profits won the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. This one was kind of a toss-up, but also I wouldn't have expected them to win, but it wasn't really for anything unless they announced it on Raw that it was for a shot at the titles or whatever, but as of right now, it was just a showcase match. I saw a clip of the Tower of Doom with Ricochet cross-bodying off of it. That looked incredible. And then also Chad Gable deadlift German suplex fucking Braun Strowman. Give Chad Gable a push, please. God damn, he's incredible. I've been saying it for fucking years, and I think a lot of people have, but he's never been really given that singles push that I think he deserves. Seth versus Logan Paul was super fun. KSI in the fucking Prime suit was hilarious. The spot where he's selfieing as Logan's about to splash Seth on the table, and then Seth pulls KSI and KSI gets splashed. That was super cool. Once again, very impressive match from Logan Paul. Seth winning, of course, the right choice. Really, really fun match in my first match of the night, so it started pretty well. Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita defeated Damage Control in a 6-woman tag. This was the booking decision I did not agree with on the night. Damage Control pretty much lost all credibility, and in my opinion, you're left with pretty much having to split them up at this point because they've been jobbers to the stars. From my exposure to them, I haven't watched the product, as I mentioned in the predictions. I haven't watched the product week on week because of work for a while. So I haven't been watching every week, but just every time I see them, it's them losing and them putting people over and shit, which is whatever. So And if the plan is Becky and Trish for SummerSlam, why not just turn Trish now? I know there's a longer build to SummerSlam now because it's in August and it is now April, so that's 4 months of build that you have to figure out. But Trish is also part-time, so you can have her turn heel and then go away without explanation, and then she could come back and cost Becky a title match at like fucking Extreme Rules or Money in the Bank or something, and then you build the SummerSlam or some shit like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, I didn't really like it, and especially like a clean win as well. Yeah, it was I didn't like the outcome, but the in-ring was fine. It was a fine match. It was a good match. You have some talented performers in there. I feel like it's a little bit obvious that Lita does suffer from ring rust, though. But Trish didn't look like she missed a beat. And yeah, so I enjoyed the match, not the outcome. Rey defeated Dominik in a fun match. There was a Cinnamon Toast Crunch mascot that got fist bumped by Rey before he beat his son's ass, so love professional wrestling. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch sponsor was really too vibrant for me because it took up the whole barricade and it was just kind of distracting. But I mean, I really liked the match. The spot in the corner with the belt was, I mean, classic. You had Aaliyah getting involved. Please DM me, Aaliyah, please, for the love of God. God, what you up to, baby? What's going on? She is a very beautiful woman. That's not really important in this match, though. What's important is it was a really good match. Dominik has improved so much. I think I've been a little bit harsh on Dominik, and I think rightfully so at the time, because when he started, he showed promise, and then he just, for me, it felt like he didn't improve at all for the span of like a year or two. And then they had him split and join the Judgment Day, and then he's been doing really good. And it looks like he's been putting a lot of effort into his physique as well, because when he turned, his body was kind of looking, and I don't want to be the guy who comments on somebody's body because if somebody, I mean, Dominik Mysterio isn't going to watch this fucking video, but, you know, it looked like he was kind of in a weird, like, middle phase of, like, not being lean, but not being like bulky. Like he was in that kind of like weird, like awkward phase if you're like in the middle of a cut kind of thing, or if you're in the middle of a bulk kind of thing. But it looks like he's like putting a lot of work on his physique, which is, you know, credit to him. He's definitely putting in work on the promos because he can cut really good promos now as a heel at least. And then in the ring, he's improving. So all credit to him. I think Rey winning is the right result. And then they can run it back next year, maybe hair versus mask, if they still want to have Dominik heel. Or they could do Dominik as a face and then him versus Rey, as Rey being like, if you can beat me, then it's time for me to hang up the boots kind of thing. I don't know if y'all watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, the original one from like the early 2000s, not GX, the OG with Yugi and Atem and Kaiba and all that. The end of that was basically Yugi had to prove himself against Atem to free Atem from the world that he was in, right? And he could go back because he was sent to pretty much guide Yugi or whatever. So it could be kind of like that at next year's Mania if they want it, or, you know, something like that. Or maybe not at a Mania, maybe if they want to do it at another Big 4 pay-per-view or something. I don't know, but I don't know how long Rey wants to keep doing the wrestling thing for. But yeah. Rhea Ripley defeated Charlotte Flair in a great match. That German supla bebe where Charlotte landed on her fucking face was terrifying. But great match. Rhea Ripley got the win that she deserved. She should have beat Charlotte back at 36 in the pandemic in the NXT place, whatever the fuck it's called. Performance Center. There we go. English words. Yeah, in the PC WrestleMania 36, Rhea Ripley should have won, but she got her well-deserved win now, and she becomes the first Grand Slam champion, or the first Grand Slam champion, including the NXT UK Women's title or something like that. So, you know, Muscle Mommy pulled out the win, rightfully so. Great match. Like I said in the predictions video, Charlotte is probably the best, or one of the two best, with Asuka in-ring in that company. And she proved it again last night. Like, it's an incredible match. She's so fucking talented. It's just the oversaturation of her on our screens is what really turns me off on her. But, like, incredible match, as always. So, and then, obviously, Rhea Ripley's incredible, too. So, Great match, right winner, and there you go. And then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeated the Usos. I loved this match. I really like that Kevin Owens kicked out of the 1D. First one to do that, as per Michael Cole on commentary. I don't know if they rewrote history and that is, or if that's legit, but if it is legit, great. Kevin Owens main eventing WrestleMania 2 years in a row, because he main evented with Stone Cold last year. On night one, of course. Again, on night one, which, again, I mentioned in the predictions. Is it technically a main event, or is it not? If you combine the two as one event, it's not really, but it is at the same time, because you have to buy 2 tickets to go to 2 shows, and you know what I mean? But we'll consider it a main event, obviously, because it was the main event of night one. I guess it's kind of maybe like a Kill Bill thing. You know what I mean? Now that I think about it. Because Kill Bill is 2 movies. But Tarantino says it's 1 movie. But if I had to pay twice to watch each part of the movie, if I paid twice, then it's 2 movies. You know what I mean? So if you paid twice to order the pay-per-view or to buy a ticket to the show, then it's 2 shows. So it is actually its own main event. So there you go, I guess, by that logic. But great match. Sammy getting the pin, right call on Jay, right call. Kevin, excuse me. Still a little bit sick. Kevin Owens being the one to kick out of the 1D as well is great for him. They had a really, really good match. They stole the show. First time the tag titles ever main evented Mania. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got their big moment. Incredible match. Incredible night one, where everybody was the right result, except, again, for the Damage Control match, in my opinion. All the in-ring was good from what I saw. Again, I saw people saying Theory and Cena wasn't that great, but I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it. But yeah, that was night one. Night two just happened, right? And I'm already forgetting what happened. We started with... there was Pat McAfee versus Miz in an impromptu match at night one. It went longer than it probably should have, but I mean, sure. It's just Bobby Lashley and LA Knight couldn't get matches on WrestleMania, but Pat McAfee could. I love Pat McAfee, but come on, man, really? LA Knight is super over right now, and Bobby Lashley is Bobby fucking Lashley. Are you goddamn kidding me? They can't get a match? Fuck off, you know? You know? That's all I'm saying. Just fuck off. That's all I'm saying. If you ask me, that's all I'm saying. So, there you go. We started night 2 with Brock Lesnar versus Omos. It went like 4 minutes, 55 seconds, which was 4 minutes and 25 seconds too long. It should have been done really quick. It should have been, a couple Germans, F5, boom, get them the fuck out of there. As soon as Bray Wyatt got his illness that took him out of Mania, they should have scrapped this fucking match and booked Brock and Lashley in like a last man standing or a 3 stages of hell or something, because that would have fucking slapped harder than a foreign parent, and that would have fucking gone hard, dude. But if they would have just let them cook at Mania, we could have had something special. But the end of that feud is a random DQ in a way too short match. So there you go. But yeah, so I mean, it was fine. It was what it was. It wasn't shit. It wasn't good. It was just there. Brock won and then fucked off, basically, which I don't blame him, because he had to work a Moss at WrestleMania. Then we had the women's showcase match. It looked like Shayna got hurt. Her and Ronda won, which was going to happen. I predicted that to happen. I don't know if that's necessarily the right call. I love Shayna. I hate Ronda Rousey, so it's kind of a mixed feelings there. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville winning could have been fun, because then they could have, bragged about it a lot on Raw or SmackDown or whatever. But them losing, they can complain and lean into their Karen gimmicks, so that's fine. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Liv Morgan, please step on me. But yeah, no, Liv is great. I spoke about what I thought about Raquel in my predictions video, where she doesn't really do it for me too much. But I mean, she's really valuable to have in the roster. So, and her and Liv seem like a fun team. Natalya and Shotzi didn't get a tank entrance. Go fuck yourself. And yeah, so was there a right winner for that match? Not particularly. I just really hate Ronda, so I'm not happy that she got to win. But then I love Shayna because she's such a good wrestler to have, because she's that no-nonsense, beat your fucking ass, dominant heel that you need in a division, whether it be women's, men's, or whatever. So, yeah, and then there's Ronda Rousey, who's a crybaby bitch, so we don't like Ronda Rousey on this channel. So, yeah, it was what it was. The match happened. It was fine, I guess. Not really, maybe. I don't know. Next match, maybe the match of the weekend. Gunther, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus. Gunther won, which I agree with. I think I said in my predictions, I want him to win. I would book him to win. I think I predicted Sheamus winning, just on the off chance that they would go for that big babyface pop for him to get his Grand Slam and turn Drew heel. Apparently, Drew's contract is up after Mania and he's not renewing. We'll have to wait and see if that's the case. Excuse me for the cough. Once again, I am still sick. But yeah, Gunther won. Incredible match. Brutal, violent, hard-hitting. Everybody's chest looked like fucking ground beef after it. And that's the type of wrestling I like in my fucking wrestling, baby. Hell yeah. Loved it. 5 stars, 6 stars, 20 stars, 69 stars. I don't give a fuck. All the stars. Incredible match. I loved it. They had some really cool spots in there and stuff too. Like, it was just so good. It was so good. Then we had Bianca Belair versus Asuka. I'm not going to lie to you. I eat a lot of protein. And when you eat a lot of protein, your shits kind of come... You know, when they come, you got to answer the call that nature's placing at your doorstep. And when you eat a lot of protein, sometimes that call takes a lot of time. So nature called as this match was starting, so I missed like the match. So I basically took a shit long enough to miss this match, which really sucks because I love Bianca and I love Asuka. With that said, I did catch the finish. The finish looked fine, except for the fact that Belair won. I don't like that Bianca won. I posted on Twitter that I think that her winning kind of puts her into that Super Cena territory. I said that it would in my prediction video. Yeah, I mean, Asuka, what do you really do with Asuka now? Unless they do a thing where she kind of goes like fully crazy from it. Maybe it's salvageable, maybe. But Bianca winning wasn't really necessary, especially clean, especially in the fashion that it happened. It was just, yeah. It was what it was. I don't think it was the right call. So, yeah. And then again, I can't comment on the match. I'm sure the match was great because they're both, like I said, great. Bianca's great. Asuka, like I said earlier when talking about Charlotte, it's her and Asuka. Charlotte and Asuka are the two best in-ring in the company. So, you know, it's a great fucking... I'm sure it was a great match. I just, I don't agree with the outcome. So, there you go. And then we had Snoop Dogg versus The Miz in what was supposed to be Shane McMahon versus The Miz. But Shane McMahon leapfrogged and blew out his knee within like fucking 10 seconds or whatever of the match with The Miz. Which, just to, you know, the point I made about Pat McAfee, at least people love Pat McAfee. You're telling me Shane McMahon could be scheduled for a match at WrestleMania, but LA Knight and Bobby Lashley were not scheduled for a match at WrestleMania? Lashley even put out a fucking open challenge on Twitter. You could have had LA Knight answer it. LA Knight doesn't need to win at Mania. He's over as fuck. Lashley can get a big win at Mania like he should have gotten. Wow. 2 really, really top fucking tier talents on your card that aren't booked on the show? Fuck you, dude. What the But Shane can get booked? Are you fucking kidding me? That is the most disgraceful thing of the night. That is the most disrespectful thing of the night. Lashley should be pissed. LA Knight should be pissed. You know what, brother? I don't even give a fuck. Everybody on the card should be pissed that fucking Shane McMahon got to be booked, even though he did hurt himself, which, by the way, hold that L. I'm not apologetic about it, because fuck Shane McMahon. I'm heated right now, okay? I mean, I hope he gets better soon. I hope it's not super serious and shit like that, but I don't... why are you giving fucking 69-year-old got fucking blown up getting to the ring? His promo was out of breath when he just said thanks for that fucking reaction, dude. Like, why are you giving him a match? But not Lashley, and not LA Knight, and not guys like Cedric and Shelton, who should be part of the Hurt Business and should have been part of the show. Or, like, there are so many talented guys and girls on that fucking roster that you did not book for the sake of Shane fucking McMahon. And Pat McAfee to a degree, but I like Pat McAfee, so I'm not going to be heated about him, but he shouldn't have been booked if Lashley and LA Knight were not booked. So, what the fuck is going through your mind as a booker when you do that shit, dude? You might think, oh, the big pop. LA Knight's over as fuck. LA Knight would have gotten a big pop. Lashley's over as fuck. The whole fucking 80,000 people would have been doing the dun, 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 dun. Fucking, are you goddamn kidding me? Fuck you, dude. Holy shit, I'm heated about that. That's the most fucking egregious fucking thing of WrestleMania weekend. Bobby Lashley and LA Knight couldn't get on the card among other talented guys and girls who bust their ass year round, but Shane McMahon could get scheduled for a match. Go fuck yourself. Anyways, he got hurt 18 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it was into the match, blew out his knee on a leapfrog. Hold that L. Hope you get better soon. And then they had to call an audible on the fly. Some people thought it was a work, but I knew immediately it was a shoot because he tried to get up and then he stumbled again. And then you could see him look at Miz and tell him, I'm like, my knee's done or something. You could tell him, you could see he was saying, I'm done. And you could know, and you could tell that it was a shoot because Miz just circled him and stalled for time. He didn't like beat him down while he was getting treatment. So you know it's not a work. And then Snoop Dogg comes in, and he's trying to kill time on the mic and shit, and he hits Miz twice, and you can see the ref telling him to hit Miz, and then the ref says people's elbow, and then Snoop Dogg delivered the best people's elbow in the history of the wrestling industry. The way he fucking hit the ropes, priceless. The way he charged up the elbow like it was a strong attack in a video game, priceless. Give Snoop Dogg a second induction in the Hall of Fame in the wrestling wing, not the celebrity ring. Matter of fact, give Snoop Dogg his own wing in the Hall of Fame. I want Snoop Dogg in the next WWE game because I don't think there's a chance that they could put him in WWE 2K23, sorry. Put him in 2K24, give him a 99 overall, give him that animation of the people's elbow in that game. I will book him as the world champion for 3 goddamn years on my fucking universe mode. I am dead ass serious. Put him in 2K24. God damn. What a way. That was such a good audible call to salvage that situation. And it's kind of sad because Snoop Dogg, who's not a trained wrestler, did so much better than a lot of trained wrestlers do when something goes awry and they have to call something on the fly. You know what I mean? Like, so many wrestlers, something happens and then they just kind of shit themselves. But Snoop Dogg was so granted, he was being directed, you know, by the ref and stuff. But yeah, he really did really well with that. Miz obviously did well in his role. Yeah, no. Hate that Shane was booked. But really loved the audible that they called. It salvaged it. I was so fucking happy seeing that people's elbow. It was incredible. Then we had Edge versus Demon Finn Balor in Hell in a Cell. Demon Finn's paint and shit looked good. The slow-mo stuff with the flares I thought looked corny as all hell. I don't know if that was me, but it did not look intimidating or cool if that's what they were going for, which I imagine it is. It literally just looked like a kid and his friend bought a camera and they're like, oh, there's a slow-mo feature on it, dude. Look what happens when I do this. And then he's like, zoom, 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 zoom. And then the slow-mo is what we got on screen. I thought it looked kind of stupid. And it was kind of immersion breaking for me. I thought that the cell being the gray cell, the OG cell, perfect. Loved that. Excuse me. I didn't like the color-coded weapons. That kind of made it a little bit for me. Shout out Finn Balor. for being a goddamn fucking warrior. Dude got busted open hard way by a ladder because the fucking rung of the ladder hit him right in the face, even though you put his hands up. It's like the rung of the ladder went right between his hands, hit him directly in the face. Apparently he got a numbing agent and staples or stitches. Maybe staples would be, it would probably be staples if it was that quick, at ringside, and then continued the match. Some people were speculating that it went shorter than it was scheduled to because of that, but shout out Finn Balor, you're a warrior. You should have won that match. Edge winning is the wrong call. Edge does not need that win. Finn Balor does. Finn Balor kind of looks like a little bit of a joke now. I mean, granted, to the wrestling fans that know about him getting, numbing agent and staples and then continuing the match, he's a badass. He lost the match to a dude who's really old, and he brought out this demon character that's supposed to give him like superpowers or whatever. It kind of kills the demon if the turnbuckle falling didn't already kill it against Roman however long ago. But yeah, Finn winning would have cemented him as a super upper mid card guy, but whatever. The match itself was fun though. They had some really fun spots and stuff like that, but just little details here and there I didn't like. Like I said, that slow-mo entrance looked super corny to me. And then the color-coded weapons looked super stupid, corny to me. And then the outcome was shit. But other than that, they had some really cool spots. Good hard-hitting match. I like a cell that stays inside the cell every now and again because it feels kind of tired when every match ends up outside the cell. So yeah, and then the main event of night 2. The tribal chief, the head of the table, cemented his place as the GOAT of the wrestling industry. 1,000 days, here we come and put them ones up. We the ones, put them ones up. Here we go. Okay, so a lot of people on Twitter are mad. To that I say, hold that L. The tribal chief enjoys your tears, and so do I. Now, that's pretty much it, basically. Just hold that out. I don't give a fuck. So I'll explain why I think this is the right call. One, I think Roman reaching 1,000 days is the perfect way to end this reign, because ending it at 900 and something at Mania, it feels incomplete. You know what I mean? It feels incomplete. If they would have done it after 500 days, sure. If they would have done it, maybe it's 750 days, I don't know, maybe not. But when you're at 945 or 946 or whatever we're at now, when you're that close to 1,000 days, it feels so incomplete to end it that early. Now, if he reaches 1,000 days, that's fucking history. In the modern era, to reach 1,000 days as champion is fucking historic. And he deserves it because he's been the best thing in wrestling for the better part of 3 years. You know what I mean? He came back in 2020 after the pandemic, or was it 2020? No, it was 2020. And he's been the best thing in wrestling since. He deserves that historic fucking 1,000 day mark, and then you could take the titles off him. Now, Cody can win Money in the Bank, and then he can cash it in. You know what I mean? I don't know when Money in the Bank is scheduled for, the pay-per-view. I don't like same-day cash-ins, so I don't really like this idea on that merit. But, I mean, if Roman reaches 1,000 days on or before Money in the Bank, he can cash in immediately if he wants to. Or if, they schedule Money in the Bank for like a couple days before the 1,000 days gets there, Cody can cash it in whenever. Or, like I said in the predictions video, Cody can win Money in the Bank and then bring back a WCW pay-per-view. You could bring back Starrcade. Halloween Havoc would be too far away because then you'd go so past 1,000 days that it might be like, okay, well, when is this happening? And if he has the Money in the Bank, he's going to want to try and cash it in as soon as possible, probably with notice because it's Cody. So, yeah, I still think they'll probably have Cody be the one. But, like I said in the predictions, Cody can go on this obsessive fucking path where he just becomes super aggressive and shit. And then he can just become this new Cody Rhodes and then win the Money in the Bank and then bring back a WCW pay-per-view that Dusty had a hand in creating or whatever. And then, boom, he can win it then. Roman Reigns is reaching 1,000 days, though. So put them ones up, acknowledge the tribal chief. Come on. Yeah, you two listening to this right now. You two. You who were upset about Cody not winning. I understand you're upset. It was the right call. Put them ones up and acknowledge the tribal chief. Come on. There you go. Gotcha. Acknowledge the tribal chief. Okay. Genuinely, I think it's the right call. I'm not trying to troll or nothing. I genuinely think it's the right call. I know a lot of people are mad because the big babyface didn't get the Mania win, and I do understand that point of view. Here's my problem with Cody is he didn't really build up the credibility yet. And you might think, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? He blah, blah, blah. So he had those 3 matches with Seth, right? Which he won, which fair play. Seth is high up on the card. Maybe not at the time because Seth was jobbing a lot at the time. Not jobbing, but like he wasn't really winning too much at the time. So, but I mean, just by status alone, Seth is near the top of the card. So those are 3 big wins. Hell in a Cell definitely puts him over as being tough, but then he had to go away because of his injury for a while. And then he came back and won the Rumble from number 30. Which, I mean, again, you won the Rumble, but from number 30, if he Iron Manned it, sure, but he didn't. Which, again, I think is the right call. I don't think he should have Iron Manned it. I think Gunther Iron Manning it was better. And then Cody, I think they shouldn't have announced Cody. I think Cody as a surprise return could have been like giving him like a Cena pop in 2008 when he came back, and it could have been like, oh wow, because people hated Cena when he got injured, and then he came back and it was so soon and sudden. They were like, oh shit, okay, you know what, I gotta respect it, I'll like you for a little bit, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that people didn't like Cody when he left, but I'm saying that, oh shit, he's back, could have given him so much fanfare. I mean, he has a lot of fanfare already, but a lot of people also were not liking him, so and then who has he beat really since he won the Royal Rumble? He hasn't really had many matches. I mean, he beat Chad Gable on Raw, I think, which, I mean, great match. I love Chad Gable. Chad Gable's status in the company from a kayfabe perspective is not very high, so it's not like that's a credible opponent. And again, that pains me to say because I know, and I'm hoping all of you know, that Chad Gable is one of the best people they have on that roster. He can be a heel or a face equally as effective on a promo. He can wrestle heel or face equally effective, and in ring, he's fucking incredible. He can be comedic or serious. This dude is so goddamn good. I've been calling him Kurt Angle 2.0 for fucking 5, 6, however many years for a reason. He's fucking phenomenal. Not to borrow AJ Styles' nickname. So, obviously, I rate Gable very highly. In the status of WWE and kayfabe, he's not that high up the card, so Cody beating him isn't really he's ready for Roman. Him beating Solo, as strong as Solo was booked, Solo is still very new, so him beating Solo, again, isn't very much he's ready for Roman win. So the last time he had a singles win that was Roman caliber, which there's nobody actually on Roman's caliber from a kayfabe perspective, the only singles match he had, before his injury was Seth, but that was fucking in the summer or in the spring or whenever it was, almost a year ago. So I get that he came back and he won the Rumble, and I get that he has this big name, and he was the big surprise signing from AEW for Seth's Mania Challenge or whatever surprise. I get that he has this name in the industry, and I get that he's a babyface and shit like that, and they had the whole finish the story thing. It's just Roman Reigns has been untouchable for nearly 3 years. It's kind of a disservice to have Cody win it without going on a proper run of big wins. Because again, those 3 wins with Seth were big. Fair play. But it was a Seth on a low. It wasn't a Seth on a high. It wasn't like Seth was going around fucking winning every match. He was putting people over left, right, and center for a little bit in incredible matches, and he was doing so well in the matches that he was over despite losing all the time, right? To his credit, because Seth's great. And y'all know I don't really like Seth, but Seth's fantastic. So, Seth was over despite being booked kind of weak. You know what I mean? So, you're coming in and you're beating an already weak-ish Seth, which you can't really call Seth weak overall because it's Seth. But you're beating like a weaker version of Seth. You're not beating a prime Seth or an in-form Seth. You're beating like an out-of-form Seth. And again, fair enough. The Peck thing was super impressive, and that definitely gives him a lot of status in the company. But again, that's so long ago. And then you come back from the Rumble and you eliminate a guy who's been in there for an hour and 10 minutes or whatever it was, an hour and 8 minutes, whatever it was. And coming in fresh, and then you beat Gable on a Raw, which again, I love Gable, fantastic. He should be so much higher up on the card, but he's not. And then Solo, which again, who was undefeated before Cody, but he's still new, so he doesn't really have that much credibility. Cody has not beaten enough guys to elevate him from a merit standpoint to beat Roman Reigns. He just hasn't. The name, sure. The fanfare, sure. He has not, from a kayfabe perspective, earned it yet. If he goes on this monster run where he beats the fuck out of any and everybody, high, low, anywhere on the card, but I mean high up on the card, ideally, if he wins a bunch of these big matches and then wins Money in the Bank, then he's in that spot where, okay, he's got the fanfare, he's got the fans behind him, and now he's got the momentum behind him. Now he's got the wins, now he's got the proof, the stats, he's got the credibility there. You know, in my opinion. And again, Roman needs to reach 1,000 days. I think that's historic. And I think them being in the position to have a modern guy reach 1,000 days, they can't pass it up. And again, with Cody kind of being rushed into that main event, right? So, in my opinion, again. So, I think it's the right call for Roman to win. I understand why people don't, but you need to understand that you're wrong. So, put them ones up, acknowledge the Tribal Chief. Thank you, my Tribal Chief. I acknowledge you. Happy 1,000 days when we get there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Probably didn't if you're a Cody fan. I'll see you guys in the next one. Acknowledge the Tribal Chief. Okay, I just realized I forgot to give my thoughts on the show as a whole. Really liked Night 1. Night 2 was more hit and miss. Overall, a good Mania. Not the best Mania, but overall, I think it was a good Mania. Some iconic moments like Snoop Dogg and basically just Snoop Dogg, and then Roman Reigns rightfully winning. So overall, I liked the show. If I were to give it a rating as a Mania, maybe like a 7.5 out of 10, 8 out of 10, maybe high up because of, you know, the Night 1 was super, super good in my opinion, and then Night 2 kind of fell a little bit short with Bianca winning and Edge winning. But yeah, like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. I don't think it was like a classic Mania or nothing like that, but it was definitely decent. It was definitely good. I enjoyed it. And yeah, okay, that's the video. Acknowledge your Tribal Chief. Goodbye.